working with clients you love.
Here we go.
Hello, hello. No one will ever believe that I am coming to them from a Starbucks, will they?
I know, I left my little cup inside.
I love our music.
Do you love it?
Happy. It does. It makes me happy.
It makes me happy too. Speaking of being happy,
yes.
What's making you happy these days?
What is making me happy is I have, I went through a big transition and, had some changes going on with clients and things like that. And I am so happy that I am working with people that I love and who love my work and what I do for them, who respect my knowledge and respect my opinions. And it's just wonderful. It makes me so happy. It's a big difference in working with clients that you love and who appreciate you than working with ones that don't. You just can't have that negative energy because it just, I had gotten to a point where I dreaded doing work, and that's not me. I'm a workaholic and proud of it. I love to work, but I love to work happy.
I hear you. I like to work happy too. And I think it's really interesting that even though you want to work with certain clients and you're out there looking for them and they're looking for you, and sometimes a client may not be what they seem, right? It's like, it's a lot like relationships, right? It might look good on the outside. I wonder if it's possible to date clients.
It is. It's very possible. And my ex-husband had a very smart saying. He said, when you first start dating someone, you're not meeting them, you're meeting their representative. That's how it starts at first. You're only meeting their representative and everything's good and everything looks good. And I've been doing this a while, and a lot of times I'm a really good judge of character and can tell after, a couple of initial conversations with clients if this is going to be a good fit or something that I want to do. But sometimes you miss it. Sometimes it seems like it's going to be really good, just like a relationship. You go out to dinner, they treat you well, they open the door for you, they call you back, all that good stuff. And then you do one thing they don't like or not the way they want it or whatever, and all of a sudden you find out that you're stuck in this relationship with a control freak who is making your life miserable, and it's just not a good fit. And they may still be a good person and all of that. It's just the personalities just aren't going to work well together. So you got to be respectful. You find out that some people just aren't as respectful as you thought they were going to be, and it's all about being appreciated. Everybody wants to feel appreciated and not not be bullied or hassled or whatever. I work well in my genius when people let me work well in my genius.
Yes, exactly. No, I hear you. I was talking to a friend of mine, and we got into this dating conversation, and she's doing some online dating. And one of the things that we talked about is how different it is. Like if you meet someone, and let's say whether it's at work or in a classroom or a program or something like that, where there's a structure there that allows for certain kinds of sharing. So you really get to know that person in what I would call kind of a safe environment, right? They're sharing openly and all that, but there's no relationship or anything like, 35, 100 people are sharing stuff, right?
Right.
But you really get to know who they are. But when you're dating, especially if you're doing like online dating, you know, you get deluged with interest, right? And then it's kind of hard to have that conversation to ferret out, like, are they a good fit for you? And we got to talking, of course we were talking about relationships, but at the same time, it was like, wow, it makes me think that, isn't it interesting that, like, if I put a post out on social media and people engage with that post, that's just the beginning of a conversation. You know,
Right.
whether they become a client or not is a whole different story. Versus, and I don't expect them to be a
Kind
client.
of like putting your profile up on a dating site. So
Right. And then
that's their initial thing. They look, they say, oh, well, this person looks interesting, and then they decide whether they want to move forward and have a conversation with you.
Right. But, you know, when you're on this dating site, it's as if the context of that is any one of these people could be the one. And just like any conversation you get into, that person could be the one also. But yet when we're on social media, we don't expect that a couple conversations on social media is going to lead to a client. We know that
Right.
take a little bit of time. And yet when you're dating, so she's telling me that she's like, I'm meeting these guys and we're going out on a date and we're having this good time. And the next thing you know, they're like trying to get into my pants.
Yeah, guys will do that sometimes.
I said, well, I guess it's your job to get into your pants. It's your job to say yes or no, depending on how you're feeling on that day.
Right, exactly. I used to say that all the time. You got to decide whether this client is someone you want to get in bed with or not, because you're getting in bed with that person, and that person can end up controlling your whole being and your whole life, to the point where you know, you get up in the morning and you don't want to work, and you don't feel inspired because you're working with that person, and you've literally gotten in bed with that person. Especially the type of work that I do, where I'm providing a service and running someone's business completely. It's constantly a moving, breathing part. And yeah, I have to get in bed with them. I have to get up close
in bed with them. I mean, if you know, when you really think about it, if you have their passwords and you have all these things, I mean,
exactly.
In our digital world, that's very intimate.
Right, exactly. They have to decide whether they can get in bed with me without protection or not. Yeah, they don't know if I've been around the block or not. So yeah, I mean, you literally are. It's just like you joke and say, you know, I've never pissed you off because you can shut me down in like 10 minutes. Not that I would ever do that for my own. I have integrity there. I'm not going to do that to anyone. But you definitely, I mean, you got to trust people, because, I mean, especially when it's an online kind of thing and people that you may never meet in person either. You got to know what kind of person they are and what their integrity is too. And like you know, you and I were talking, and you didn't know what my initial thought about you was.
Oh, was that awesome? I did not know that.
And just because of your name. And, you know, it's all those first impression things. I'm sure when people hear Rhonda, you know, there's no telling what they think. You know, you got the Rhonda from the Laverne and Shirley show, who was like the next door neighbor floozy woman. And, you know, you never know what you're going to get with that name either. But, yeah, when I first heard Ivana is how I was pronouncing it in my head. And I thought, oh, okay, she's going to become a queen for sure. And then when I got on the phone with you and you let me know that I was pronouncing it incorrectly in a nice way, but I thought, oh, okay, she's real high maintenance here. I don't know how this little setup's going to go, but because she wants her name pronounced Ivana. And then we just clicked, and we've been like the best of friends, and we've been working together for what now, 3 years, almost 4 years?
4 years, I think.
Yeah, and we're like best friends now. We're like best online virtual friends. We just get on Skype just to talk and hang out like buddies. I know my husband says, "Oh, even as your best friend." I'm like, "Yeah, she's like my best friend. We like talk all the time. We get on Skype, and I don't have a lot of like really close friends, but I consider you one of my really close friends, even though we don't live in the same town, because we can talk anytime we want to."
Exactly.
And
And that's really true.
it's great. And you're a friend that I can work with. A lot of people, you can't mix business with pleasure kind of thing, but you are one of those that, we can be really good friends and work together too. So that's really nice too.
Like a little Benny on the side, which I really like, but it just goes to show you never really know. And like,
right. Because we can work, we can get on Skype and we'll have conversations and it's all about business. And then we have times where we get on Skype and we talk about stupid stuff like friends. And I love that we can do that.
So I have the question I have is, so I'm really intrigued by this idea about dating either customers, clients, or suppliers, right? So that we have been in perpetual search for copywriters, right? And we're not the only ones, right? There's my friend Wendy Weiss, queen of cold calling. You've got to check her out, wendyweiss.com. I love her, love her, love her. And she and I become friends, professional friends, right? And so what's really cool that I love is that, she's like a really big deal, Wendy Weiss.
Right.
And
yes,
she calls me all the time. I think it's awesome. I feel so special. And she's like, hey, can you recommend, this person or that kind of person? So she just called me yesterday and she wanted me to recommend a copywriter. And I'm like, well, what kind of copywriter do you need? I got lots of good like blog article writers. And she goes, no, I'm looking for, guess what she's looking for? Sales pages and landing pages, right? Well, we're always looking for that direct, the direct marketing style of copywriting. And
right. Copywriters are hard to find.
They really are. So I thought it would be really great idea.
It would be hard to find, but they seriously are hard to find. And it's because we all have our own style too. Correct. And, we want our own voice to come through. And, I don't think copywriters get enough credit. I mean, honestly, because it's hard. It's a hard job to be a copywriter. It's hard to write for yourself, for one. And then it's hard to find someone that can write in your voice too. So a good copywriter is so hard to find. If you have a good one, hold on to them or give them our number because we need a copywriter.
Right? No, well, actually, you know what? I've been amiss. I want to say hey to the folks watching. Phil and Cater here as always.
Hi, guys.
You know what? I always put the tracker on and I forget to click on the stream. So I'm sorry I was delayed. So anyway, so I in order to help Wendy out, I had a couple that I was, I'm forever trolling copywriters, right? So
right.
I, went into my Upwork, which used to be Odesk for everyone who wants to know. And I started like trolling my lists and people I had saved because I always like look when I have time and then I save folks. Well, I found this guy and one of the things I searched on, if this is helpful for you. So if you're looking for a direct marketing kind of copywriter, you want sales pages. If you type in landing page or opt-in page or sales page or email and copywriter, you will not get a good list. I tell you that right now because I have done that. That does not work. What you really want to, what I wrote in is I decided to write in terms like Frank Kern, Ryan Dice, and Dan Kennedy. Not all at once, but, just to see what pops up. And I ran into a couple things. So the reason I did that, Rhonda, was because I thought to myself, one of the things that a lot of copywriters do, and I know this because I've been through the mill, is in order to work with them, what they're going to want you to do is fill out a series of worksheets, right? You're going to have to fill out this series of worksheets and answer like millions of questions. And I don't want to do that. I know you don't want to do that. I know Wendy Weiss doesn't want to do that. I know none of us really want to do that. What we want And what I'm sure a lot of folks want is the ability to take what they're working on, whether it's a coaching program or whether it's a product or an event like what I'm working on. They just want to, you know, take that, give it to that person, maybe have a meeting about it, and work in tandem with that person like a partner, like you and I work, and sort of have them get it and write the copy. And the only person that's going to be able to do that in direct marketing copy are folks who are following the likes of Ryan Dice, Dan Kennedy, Frank Kern, those kinds of folks. That's why I put that in term. So I found this guy, right? And the other thing I did is I went and started looking at his portfolio. So if they don't have a portfolio, don't even waste your time. You definitely want to see a portfolio. And I'm embarrassed to say that even copywriters with whom I've had conversations, and they really seemed interesting, I didn't check their portfolio till later, only to find out I was really not there was nothing wrong with it. It's almost like you feel like you're going to have Italian or you're going to have sushi, right? What do you feel like eating, right? So there was nothing wrong with what this person had. It just wasn't exactly what I was after.
Wasn't a fit for you.
Wasn't a good fit for me.
Right. That's the same with dating. I mean, it's not that, and some people get offended if, you know, certain people don't want to date them or don't like them or swipe or whatever they do on the Tinder app. I don't know, because I haven't online dated. I've been married since then. But, you know, you see it on TV, they're swiping or whatever. But it's like, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you because a certain person didn't choose you. You're just might not be their type, or it just wasn't a good fit. You know, we all like different things: short, tall, big, skinny, blonde, brunette, whatever. So it's different strokes for different folks. And it's the same with copywriting, also graphic design.
Oh,
you know, we had the thing where you didn't like a lot of the stuff that my graphic designer did, but I had clients who loved it. So and it doesn't mean my graphic designer wasn't a good graphic designer, just not what everybody wants. So you just got to find what the fit is for you. Just like clients. I mean, you know, there's clients that I just can't work with, and it's just not a good fit for me, my personality, and what I like to do. But doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person or that they're a bad client. Maybe a really good client for someone else.
Exactly. And that there's something for everybody. But anyway, so a couple things that I did, right? So I called, one of the things that happened is on this guy's portfolio, he had one of those, it wasn't an explainer video. It wasn't a video sales letter. It was something like that. You know, it was this video thing and there were words up on the screen, but they were really cool designed and everything. And I was watching that and I'm like, oh my God, I can totally swipe that for Bizapalooza. It's the flavor I want. It's the, you know what I mean? I mean, I wouldn't swipe it because it's not the same thing. But the idea of it, I was like, this might be someone I'm interested in. So I sent him an email, right? I sent him an email and he called me right away. And then he and I talked a little bit later that day. And it was like this really sort of getting to know you. How do you work? How do I work? What do I want? And one of the things he did that I really liked is
first date.
What was that?
That it's the first date.
It was the first date, right? Or it was like the first phone call, right? And so it was really interesting because we talked about like, how do you work? You know, how do you charge? What do you like? What don't you like? And you know, it's interesting. He actually has his own products and programs, and I was really happy about that. Okay? I would much rather have someone, you know, that has their own stuff also.
Right.
For whatever reason. And
yeah, it's just like when you're dating, you're looking for someone stable. So some people are looking for someone who's established, maybe already owns a home and
exactly.
All of that kind of stuff. So that's how you relate it to dating. And then some people, especially if you're younger, you're in your 20s, you're okay if they're still sleeping on a futon in a rented apartment with their buddies. But once you hit 30, 40, then you're looking for more stability, someone who actually is established and has some things of their own.
Right, exactly. I keep rotating around because I feel like
because I'm getting hot. We are in a heat wave and it's like 93 degrees and the sun was burning my legs. So I had to flip around a little bit to get out of the sun. I don't want to get sunburn on one leg.
Oh, here we go. It's like, I just hate it when, I have a big nose. And so when the sun shines, it casts this huge shadow. That was a joke.
You're hilarious. You are crazy, woman. I don't think we're getting shadows from your nose.
I'm casting. There's a whole eclipse over here. Anyway.
You have a wonderful nose.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll end up on Botched one day. Hey, so anyway, I'm sort of excited about finding this copywriter. I'm once again, though, the other thing I wanted to talk about in terms of copywriters or designers or whatever is people are always asking about price points and what's a good price point. And one of the things I've realized is that you don't want to go too low.
Right.
Because you truly do get what you pay for.
Exactly. That's true with everything.
With everything. But on the other side of the spectrum, in terms of copywriters,
I'm sweating like a whore in church.
What's that?
I'm sweating like a whore in church out here. Go ahead.
Because it's probably hotter than it was in Orlando.
Oh, it is, and humid.
Oh,
go ahead. Sorry.
So I know now that you got everybody all riled up because you are a whore in church. Anyway, so one of the things that was real interesting, and Wendy and I got into this conversation about some of them are like really expensive, and like how much is, I don't know that, like at some point, how do I say this? Like you want to, let's say $30, $40, $50 an hour.
Right.
Right. Not too little, not too much, just right. But right. I have found, and I don't know if you found this, I have found that I don't know if the copy I get at $100 or $200 an hour is 10 times better.
I don't think so either. I think if you've got a good happy medium there, you're paying a medium pay where you're happy paying, you don't feel like you're overpaying, and they don't feel like they're underpaid. I think you're getting the best work right there in that sweet spot, in that middle ground sweet spot. Because I have found too, the ones that are like super expensive, you're like cringing that you're paying that much. And then the product usually isn't like mind blowing where you're like, oh, I get it. I feel like that was money well spent. So if you're kind of in the middle in that sweet spot, you're kind of, you're not expecting it to be mind blowing. You're expecting it to be good. And then most of the time you get pleasantly surprised there because they're working at a rate that, they feel like they're being fully compensated. They're working at a rate that you feel like you're not overpaying or being taken advantage of. And I think usually you're more happy in that medium area. You don't want to go low because then you already know you're kind of underpaying and you're not expecting a lot. And you usually don't get a lot either. You're going to get what you pay for. So I think in that medium price range, I think is good. I don't think just because it's a lot higher that it's mind-blowing copy. I haven't found that.
I've not found mind-blowing copy yet at Enterprise. And that brings to light another thing that Wendy brought up, and she is, how is it that you can pay these people by the hour because they can get a great idea like in the toilet? So what are they going to do? Charge you for all the thinking time? And I think that's a really good point. Typically, what I like to do, what I did with this guy, is we talked on the phone, and I said, I'd like to create a small project, right? So maybe like a simple landing page, something, or maybe like a lead magnet page for Bizapalooza, where, there's There's a basic offer. They can register early. If they don't register, if they're going to move away from the page, they get a pop-up that says, okay, so this didn't float your boat. What do you want instead?
Right.
Something like that. So like a simple project. And he's like, yeah, let's kind of outline something like that. And he goes, and you tell me how much you want to pay for that, what your budget is. And then I will create something, you know, we'll work around that. Like maybe,
I am seriously melting out here.
well, I'm going to have to let you go then so that you can melt. Oh, I know what you need to do. Pour that Frappuccino like on yourself.
I would if it wasn't so sticky. Oh.
Is it cold?
No, I've already drank it all.
Oh, you need like one of those spray thingies.
I need some ice to pour on. It's a heat wave, a real heat wave.
I love that heat wave song. What's the heat wave? Remember the heat wave song?
I don't.
Who knows the heat wave song?
Refresh. What year is it?
Oh my God, like 1980 something. Is it Roller Coaster?
Heat wave.
Oh, there is that one, of course.
It's
okay,
what?
Driving. Heat wave fan. Oh,
I'm sure
riding on the groove line. Hide.
Post the link.
What's that?
While we're
What?
I said post a link to it. That way I can listen.
Oh, I'll post the
while
link.
we're in Carolina.
There you go. I'll find the link for it. Let's see where it's.
I think I'll be listening to that today in our heat wave.
By the band Heat Wave.
So it's getting
Groove Line.
You'll pay the same price.
Whoops. Okay.
Can't play it on here. You're gonna get this.
Well, I'm gonna put it in the chat thingy.
In the chat?
Or
yeah,
in the random hangout on the random hangout page. I know I don't want to get in any kind of trouble.
Yeah. Listen to it on your own time. We didn't play it on here. We're not going to be charged for that.
There we go. Uh-oh. Kate says a song comes to mind. Pouring that Frappuccino on you. Oh!
Pour some sugar on
me.
I had to change it up a little bit so it's not the same song. Pour some Frappuccino.
You're allowed to do that. I saw the Stephen Colbert has this little video out because he's going to be on the Late Show. Oh my God, there's a helicopter or something. And he does this whole thing where they can't sing the song. Where is it? There it is. Oh, it's the medical flight. Can you see it?
Looking for your drugs.
There's the helicopter. I can't see it. Can you see it? There's the helicopter. The hospital. I think they're life flight or something. It's somebody. Something's going on. In the thriving metropolis of Medina, Ohio, something is going on. Am I? Hello? Hello? Hello?
I'm here.
I'm losing your connection. Okay, so
Yeah.
our 30 minutes are up. You want to give folks some parting thoughts? We had a very professional hangout today. We talked about finding copywriters and clients and how it's like dating. That was kind of fun.
Was that, and I'm happy.
And you're happy. Are you going to sing the happy song?
I can't. I don't want to pay for that. Thank you all for coming. Tell us what makes you happy today.
Tell us what makes you happy. There's that
People would
dang
be
helicopter again.
really happy.
That helicopter is being very annoying. Okay. All right, gang. Are you ready?
Bye, guys.
You ready to say goodbye? Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I don't know how to do it. What happened? I don't know what to do. There it is. Are you dancing? Woo! So happy you're all here.
Yeah.